The far future is one of my favourite worlds in the entire game, maybe even number one. But I've been warned that one zombie in particular may very well end this challenge. Never in any challenge have I had so much doom posting over a single zombie, so I am very nervous for this world, but regardless, we power on. Also, my balloons and Clash Royale videos are still in the works. They're gonna be awesome, but they're taking a very long time to put together. Day one is business as usual, except it isn't. See, I didn't even bother looking whether there'd be any special zombies in this, because it's day one, why would there be? But this level does actually contain jetpack zombies, and as I wasn't expecting it, I didn't bother bringing any answers to it, so I actually did fail day one of this world. My first ever day one fail. Surely this is a sign of good things to come. Day two, and I see an opportunity to go for the suck and blow. A staple strategy that I've not actually had the option to use in a while. I'll always find this strategy really fun. Day 3, and I've come up with one of my favourite strategies to date, double taunt. This innocuous strategy has a real simplicity to it, and combined with the reinforcement, we have an option that may actually work for a fair bit. It's not the most flashy build ever, I just like how it looks. Day 4 is our first Sunbomb level. These are usually an interesting but very easy gimmick, where you need to pick between collecting sun normally or detonating them like free cherry bombs. Oh geez, what a hard decision. But in this challenge, these levels become an extremely hard skill check. Sure, it's easy to just not click on the suns as they're falling, but so much as having your finger go near the sun, even if you're just holding another plant, will detonate them. I'm not proud to admit this, but these levels took a lot of time off of me, but we beat this one in only a couple of attempts. Day 5, we suck and blow again. I don't know why I'm feeling this way after playing this game for so long, but I'm only just realizing right now how cool the shield generator zombie is. I don't know, I just find its design to be really charming, therefore one of my favourite zombies in the game. Day 6 doesn't let us pick our plants. So instead, I'd like to use this time to give a quick shout out to GamerSup's current promotion. I've seen a lot of you guys mention that you'd like to try GamerSups, but the shipping's just too much to justify. And I can't deny it's pretty pricey for us Euro bros. But from now until the 23rd of May, code SHAGROT not only gets you 10% off your order, but also gets you free worldwide shipping. The value of which obviously depends on where you live in the world. But for me, that's over £20 off my order. And that's without even factoring in the 10% off. Again, I personally recommend raw meat, Clyde's black cherry, or guacamole gamer fats. Thank you for letting me waffle on about these promotions. I don't know if you can tell, but I really want to get my own crossover. I think it'd be funny. Day 7 was a fairly standard level, but I forgot to bring the reinforcement. I decided to stick it out to see how much of a difference it actually makes. I've been suspecting that the reinforcement's power has been a bit exaggerated. Sure, it gives plant food to the entire board, which theoretically doubles the health of every plant, but in practice it only really affects the front row of plants. It did not take long to realize we absolutely need the reinforcement, it wasn't even close about it. Day 8 to conveyor belt level. Day 9 limits us to 13 plants, which means we can't just spam tornuts. We remedy this by bringing along the time warp, which gives our limited tornuts a much needed breather, and this strategy actually worked really well. Day 10 brings a zombie that I totally forgot about, the Discotron. See, this is a zombie that I can stall. Like, surprisingly, a single gun nut will hold this thing till the very end of the level. But it doesn't stop it from mass producing disco stews. And I mean, just look at this absolute carnage. This is way too many zombies for day 10. Leading quite heavy on our single time warp, we are still able to stall out this madness though. Except at the very last moment, after 15 minutes of slogging through this one of the Discotrons spawn a zombie pixel perfect to avoid the lawnmower. Man, that sucks. I think this is just going to be another annoying RNG fest zombie a la piano zombie. We're able to beat this one second try at least. Day 11 is completely unnotable, and you know what that means? It's time for our micro presentation. And this world's presentation is called Shout Out to the Summoner Class. Shout Out to the Summoner Class was the name of the first ever YouTube video I ever made. Now, I've wanted to make YouTube videos my entire life, but I always chronically procrastinated on it. But about 5 years ago, I made my first ever YouTube video. Okay, I didn't even make it, I only got halfway through production, but that was the start of my YouTube journey. I recently found the audio track for it, which I thought was long gone, and I gave it a listen. It was a real nice walk down memory lane. So for this presentation, I'm going to be recreating that video. And that video is simply about my favourite summoner classes. And for me, my love for summoners all started with the Clash of Clans Witch. Clash of Clans was one of my most played games growing up. And within that game, I thought the Witch was the absolute coolest character ever. I just loved the way she summoned little skeletons instead of attacking herself. I just thought it was awesome. Once I became a bit older, still probably like 13 years old, I started playing World of Warcraft, and within that, I absolutely fell in love with the Warlock class. The Warlock would summon a variety of demons, but my absolute favourite were the Imps. I've always been a sucker for little guys. But what I think absolutely cemented my love for the summoner was Terraria. Now I've played Terraria for at least 1,000 hours, and the video I made on Terraria, the Piss Challenge, was the first time ever I didn't play as a summoner. In the early days of Terraria, which is when I mostly played, The summoner class was more of a challenge than a full-fledged class, there was so little to it. But I used to just love starting a new character and rushing straight to the B armor, honestly some of my favourite gaming memories. Finally, here's a couple summoners I don't like. I think League of Legends has some of the worst summoners ever. They're just so lazy and the minions never work. It's been like 15 years and they just won't fix it. I didn't play Final Fantasy XIV much, I just didn't jive with it, but obviously trying the summoner, I could not believe how little summoning the summoner did. Like, I think in my 10-20 hours played, I did not summon a single thing. And finally, D&D. I think the idea of D&D summon is cool. I really liked the idea of summoning unbound demons I couldn't control, but every time I've ever tried to play it, the people I play with beg me not to. I don't know why, I've still never got to summon in D&D. People just really do not like summoners. This was a bit of a shit presentation, but I don't know, I just wanted to recreate my first video. At the very end of this video, I'll put in a snippet of my original audio. I sound so uncomfortable. Day 12 looked to be a very tough world, including a Garg, so I decided to play it safe with double time warp. It was going really smoothly and didn't take too much thought, until a zombie just fucking died. I was so confused and thought that I'd really fucked up, but looking at my lineup, none of these plants can even kill a zombie if I wanted to. After watching it back it's obvious, but I had no idea the future Garg could kill zombies. That's really funny. Needless to say, this doesn't count as me failing a level as it was a zombie that killed another zombie. You know, nothing to do with me. Day 13 and here it is. The biggest threat to the challenge yet, the all-star mech. I've been told from the very start of this challenge that this zombie will single-handedly make this challenge impossible. It can't be stunned by anything and it will waltz through any defensive wall. But I'm not ready to give up yet. I'm gonna throw absolutely every possible solution at the wall until something sticks. First thing I tried was the gum nut. It's a bit of an optimistic solution to the CC immune challenge, but the gum nut is my solution to like most of my life's problem anyway, so it's worth a try. And oh, this thing is actually stopped by the gum nut. And this zombie isn't CC immune at all. You guys have been stressing me out for weeks and for what? This zombie is a huge letdown. I guess we're just bringing the gum nut from now on. Day 14 only permits us to spend 1500 sun, which can be quite a challenge for the pacifist run, as it usually involves us spamming a lot of the same plants. Luckily, we do have a bit of an infinite value engine that costs 0 sun in the reinforcement, which solves this level handedly, with a little tool nut support. I've described a lot of levels as our hardest level yet, but I think day 15 is outright impossible. The main issue, and maybe only issue, is that we have 3 Citrons to protect. We've beat levels similar to this before, but Citrons hit so much harder than the likes of the Pepper Pot. And the level literally starts with 3 zombies walking right in front of the Citrons. Like, I had some ambitious ideas of spamming Hypno Shrooms and Solar Sage to make them immune from damage, but the plants don't even come off cooldown before the first 3 zombies spawn. I think this is our first outright impossible level. I've made mention of a super secret technique that I'm going to try to beat the seemingly impossible level with after this challenge, but I don't think even that can solve this. I think unfortunately, for the first time ever in one of these challenges, I'm going to have to mark this level as impossible. Now I know that I have some disturbingly creative viewers out there, so if anyone can think of a solution, let me know in the comments. Day 16 is a conveyor belt, and day 17 doesn't let us pick our plants. Day 18 needs us to generate 6,000 sun. I don't know why I gave that so much emphasis when that sun goal is like 2/3 of a solo tomato. I love this little guy's face. Those chubby cheeks hide such a pure evil. Day 19 is another Sunbomb level, and I took this one very slowly. At this point, I was still really butthurt about the last time I wasted time on this type of level, and I was able to beat this one without a single reset. Day 20 looks just as impossible as the Citron level, but we do have a bit more leeway on this one. It's similar to the Rutabaga level, which I was able to beat after a lot of attempts. I spent ages on this one. The main goal is to move this entire row backwards before they can kill anything. I've managed to move 1 or 2 plants back before, but an entire row of plants that shoot diagonally is miserable. There's so much micromanaging involved. Our first job is to stall the initial zombies that spawn. Ideally, I'd use a Hypno Shroom or a Solar Sage so that they don't die, but the first 3 zombies spawn in the same row, which really sucks. After an hour, I had my best attempt yet, and finally got most of the stars to the back row, although this attempt was only good because I had missed that a zombie had died anyway. But as I finally got the star fruits moved back, they were still hurting zombies at the very front of the lawn. I always wondered what the difference between the star fruit and the Rutabaga was, and as it turns out, the Rutabaga is just a more fair, honest plant. This guy sucks. I think this is another impossible level. Day 21 is one of them levels that give you 2 challenges that are so meager it doesn't really do a thing. No more than 15 plants on screen and we have to generate 5,000 sun. In this level, I finally realized why this world has been so much more bearable than the last one. despite an unending swarm of flying zombies. And it's just because these flying zombies are kind of slow. They're barely any faster than regular zombies, which makes slowing plants, especially the time warp, way better. To be clear, I don't think these zombies are underpowered, I just think the dragonfly zombie is absurdly busted. Day 22 was pretty easy, I just spammed the gumnut plant food. I wish I had more to say about this world, but during this playthrough, me and my Twitch chat had a Hatsune Miku marathon, which got this world's entire audio track deleted by Twitch. So I'm kind of just going off my admittedly porous memory. Day 23 doesn't let us spend any more than 2k sun, but we're easily able to set up our infinite value engine in that sun. Our last day of this world is one last Sunbomb level. Again, these challenges aren't hard in the usual sense in this game. It's more akin to playing the board game Operation, where I'm just trying my hardest not to touch any of these suns with my mouse. And unfortunately, 10 minutes into this one, I blundered, which was so tilting, but was able to beat it a second time around. This world was a weird one. It wasn't too hard overall until all of a sudden it was impossible, but Far Future is always just a treat to play. Though, the world gimmick was absolutely pointless when you have access to the reinforcement. Just a quick reminder, I'm going to be upping the scale of my content pretty soon. I'm aiming to double my uploads and also double the quality of my uploads as well. My favorite video I ever made was my references to Plant vs Zombies video. I want to make more videos like that really badly. Plus, I want to do more non-PvZ stuff, like that balloons project I'm working on. Regardless, the Shagrot Cinematic Universe will be expanding its operation very soon, and I couldn't be more excited. Thank you all very much for watching. Cheers.
I freaking love summoners. I've spent the last 2 days of my life vigorously searching for a new game to play where I can be a cool minion summoning badass, rising zombies, getting girls. But all of my research has led me to the conclusion that people stopped making games a long time ago. So with no games coming out ever again, this scratch is not going to be itched for a very long time. So I decided I want to do a bit of reflection on what got me loving this particular archetype. Now, full disclosure, this is not a breakdown of all the game design that goes into making these amazing summoner classes, and it isn't a definitive list of all the raddest necro baddies. This is just my personal gaming journey and what led me to making this video. Now, what the fuck is a summoner?